What's up, guys? In today's episode, we're going to interview a 10-year-old reseller. This is blowing my mind because not only has Tucker saved $50,000 in his first year doing this, he has gone through this incredible journey. He started with golf balls. He ended up firing his 6-year-old sister because she couldn't keep up with him. He learned all of this from YouTube, which is fascinating to me. He can't even comment because he has the kid version of YouTube where most things are blocked. Tucker had his dad reach out to me because he's actually outselling a lot of the reseller YouTubers out there. He has 711 active items in his store. And so maybe it's time for us to take a seat during this episode and listen to him on how he built his business. And it's awesome. So you guys are really going to like this episode. So please make sure you smash the like button and consider subscribing to this channel if you like tips and tricks on how to build your online store. Disabled comments for this video because he's very young, so I don't want him to deal with that. So if you want to reach out to him, I have his email address in the description below. But let's get into today's show. What's up, guys? Welcome to A Reseller's Life. My name is Chris. Today I'm really excited because I have Ryan and Tucker. And Tucker, I think you are only 10 years old? Yep. Okay, this is super exciting. So we want to get into your reselling journey and talk about building up to, you've built up $50,000 in assets and you have a business that nets $3,000 a month. That's almost the average American income. So I'm household income. So I'm super stoked for you. Before we get into the conversation and all the things you do, maybe introduce yourself, Ryan. How did you guys get started into this? Where do you live? Tell us a little bit about you.
Sure. So this is Tucker. Go ahead.
I live in Sterling in Broadrun
Farms. Yeah. You live in Sterling, Virginia.
Yep, Sterling, Virginia. I have pretty much a big room and everything like that. So.
Yeah. So how did you get started with reselling?
I first started golf balls, if you can believe that.
So I love that. Did you just go onto a golf course? Where did you get the golf balls?
This is really interesting. So I went on to the river, Potomac River.
Okay.
They hit golf balls into the river.
Oh, okay.
So we're downstream from a bunch of golf courses on a river.
And people accidentally hit golf balls in. And I'm just grabbing like 100 a day. And I started selling on Facebook, and I'm making like $1,000 a month on this golf ball.
Oh my god. Okay, so the golf balls, they go down, you live downstream. Are you diving? Yeah. How are you getting them?
I pretty much, when I first started golf balls, you could just go on the shore and there's 100 golf balls under one golf ball.
Right.
So what he's saying is they'd wash up. And
yeah.
For every one that you see on top, you take a shovel and you dig.
So they collect in certain areas.
Yes.
Wow, and that's cool.
Then I dive a deep end with a snorkeling gear and go down there and find golf balls. But the name brand you always want to look for is Pro V1s and Cowboys and Nikes.
Of course.
That's the name brand.
Yeah, those are the name brands. So it's cool. You already have some brand knowledge. So when it comes to the golf balls, did you need any equipment to go get them, or you just go like how do you carry them?
I pretty much buy a kayak and a snorkeling gear and some goggles.
Oh wow.
He had a golf ball grabber thing.
Grabber too, yeah.
A golf ball grabber. That is so cool. So is that also fun, and do you still do that?
Yeah, I still do it on summer, but like when it gets like snowy, I'm done because nobody's golfing, you know.
So okay. How many golf balls? Yeah, go ahead.
No, I didn't want to interrupt you. You started with the golf balls, and then.
So how many golf balls did you sell that first summer?
10,000.
Oh my God, 10,000 golf balls.
Yeah.
That is so cool. So is that river public?
Yep. No, it isn't. It's private. So
okay.
So you can get on the other side and you can go, but on our side there's private for our neighborhood, but we invite people in.
Okay, don't tell anybody where that river is. That's awesome. I love it. Okay, so you sold 10,000 golf balls. Facebook Marketplace, eBay. Where did you sell them?
Facebook Marketplace. That was the place to go.
So that's just straight cash.
Yeah, straight cash. You just sell it, no fees or anything for it. So it's just
wow, I love it. So in that situation, did you meet up with people with your dad? How did you meet up with people to sell the golf balls?
So I didn't meet up nobody. So my dad looked them up on a Google search and like, a dozen of Pro V1s go for $50.
Right.
So I was like, okay, we can sell Pro V1s for like 50 cents a dollar. They're good shape. And the ones that are not good shape, we can just put hideaways,
Yeah. So I would do the listing for him on Facebook.
I love it.
And then I would just let him,
But for a while, I had pulleys to get golf balls free. So I pay them like each buy a golf ball.
So he would also pay kids in the neighborhood 5 cents a golf ball, and they loved that because, it's free money for them. So, he would get buckets just delivered to the door at some point too.
I am loving this. This is pure entrepreneurship. Okay, you even have a crew. So in the summer, I mean, now you have a small team of kids going out for you. That's excellent.
2 or 3 people. 2 or 3 people.
2 or 3 people.
Yeah, and they just help me. And they're like,
and just schoolmates?
I give them the gear, and they bring shovels and diggers, and they just go out there and find golf balls for me. And they bring out the door and say, I have 100 golf balls. How much do you pay me? And I'll say $10. And they just.
Is this just this summer that you started?
The summer before last, actually.
The summer before last. Okay. So I like it.
He was doing the golf balls the summer before last.
I like that you're 10 years old and you already have more than a year of experience, which makes me, that's very fun. Okay. So, golf balls, it's seasonal, right? So it starts to get cold. What did you do after golf balls?
So during summer, it was very surprising. So I really lived with my dad, and he does like antique shows and stuff.
Yes.
And I've been going to yard sales, and I start seeing like antiques and stuff. I was like, I don't need to clean golf balls anymore, so I can sell golf balls.
So what I think he's trying to say is our neighbor was having a yard sale.
Yeah.
Our neighbor was having a yard sale, and what was he selling?
Golf balls. I'm like, and already clean. I'm like, I don't need to clean them, so why not I just buy them for half the price what I pay and make some money off them. Margins are a little bit harder on them, but I still make money, so I'm like, I don't need to clean them, so my employees can get the golf balls out there and I can clean them. And now I had employees to clean them, so I'm like, I just need to find golf balls at yard sales. And then... So
that's where we started going to... He was like, Dad, can you take me to yard sales?
Okay.
And so...
I said it was the stupidest idea ever.
Well, you wanted to do something, and I said, all right, that's fine. We'll hop in my truck and just drive around looking for signs. Like we didn't know what we were doing, right?
We found, next day, 2,500 golf balls.
At yard sales.
$10.
For like $20 or something stupid.
$10, $20.
Yeah.
But then I start seeing like antiques and stuff. I'm like, oh, I'm paying $1 for this. I get $25. Like it's
So you started buying up antiques at yard sales?
Yeah.
Okay.
Antique stuff.
And then what happened?
And then it was impressive because my dad found somebody who does like furniture and stuff. They want my unique finds in their booth.
Wow. Okay.
I make like $100 to $1,000 a month on that. I'm like, that's great. But I outgrown that really quick.
You outgrew that?
Yeah, really quick. There's so much good stuff around here. It's just like, wow.
Wow. Okay.
So,
before we get into that, I also want to mention to people that you cleaned the golf balls. So this is important for people that are out there looking. If you can repair something or clean something, you're more likely to get a good deal or to get the item for free. But if they're cleaned, sometimes you pay a little bit more. But at a yard sale, maybe not, because people are just trying to clear out space.
Yeah, they're just trying to clear out space. They're like, how about cheap, because I'm a kid too, so they're like, how about $1 for golf balls? I'm like,
I like that leverage because you always want to help people if you can, and if you're younger, I would use that to your advantage because that's like, who doesn't want to help somebody start their business?
Yeah, that I do. I just tell people, like, I give them papers out and say, this is what I buy, let me know if you have it,
I love it. Okay, cool. So now you're starting to sell antiques. You found somebody that has a booth, so you don't need to use that space in your house.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I start going. People inviting me to antique shows, so I'm starting to make $1,000 a weekend and making nobody's paying me, like just free money for me. And then I'm starting to look for antique booths and stuff right now.
Okay. So he started getting a following in that shop, and people started coming in and asking him to do like flea markets and things like that. And that's what he's saying. He started doing that, right?
Yeah, and I make like $1,000 a weekend. It was pretty good. Sometimes $1,000 a day. It was kind of crazy, but you know.
Okay, so now you have this golf ball department, and now you have an antique department. So before we move on with the antiques, how did you learn what they're worth?
So my dad was a furniture business.
Okay.
Refinisher.
Okay.
Refinisher. And I saw antiques at markets and stuff. I see what they worth, and I watch Antique Roadshow, flea markets, all different kind of like shows and stuff for antiques. And I started finding this stuff at like barns and yard sales, and I'm start picking that out pretty good.
Okay, I love it. So you basically you modeled other trends that you saw on TV, or you watched other people do it, and then you looked for similar items. That's awesome. Do you look up solds at all when you're on them, or is the stuff so cheap that you're just picking it up?
Sometimes so cheap, but sometimes I look it up on eBay. But
okay.
You spend like now you spend half your day just looking stuff up, don't you?
Yeah, I actually, since it's snow time right now, I've been actually start buying stuff off Facebook on eBay and flipping stuff on there right now.
On eBay to eBay?
Yeah. To Facebook, okay. So I'm buying
Facebook
to eBay. Okay.
Yeah.
But I saw YouTubers on YouTube, so I was watching antique stuff, and I saw all the way down there people going to yard sales and finding stuff and like video games and stuff like that. I'm like, I see that always for dirt cheap, so I'm like, okay, I'm buying that stuff now, and it just keeps going. Like,
so you started buying other stuff after the antiques, right?
Yeah.
And then what did we do after that?
We start just. My dad's like, you have too much stuff, right? I mean, I said, I have too much stuff. I was like, I need to go on eBay to start selling the stuff because so much of it, you know.
So that's awesome. Now you've decided that you want to sell online, and you have all this stuff. So how did you get into selling online? Is very different than Facebook Marketplace. How did you get in on the eBay?
So I watched YouTubers doing this because behind antiques, there's been people finding like stuff on garage sales and teaching you what to make and stuff. I'm like, oh, I can do that too. I'm seeing this stuff forever. I'm like, okay, let's start making that money, you know.
So I set up his eBay account last December. It's been a year since he started eBay. Honestly, we didn't. My wife and I had never sold anything on eBay.
Only my mom buys.
We didn't really we didn't know what we were doing. We just said, let's just list some of his stuff and see how it goes. This is interesting, right? It was never supposed to be like this huge business, or it was never, it was just more of a hobby for him, to be interested in something, and immediately he, I think, did like $1,500 in the first month.
So I assume it's under your name because it's under
my name. Yeah. Everything flows through my bank account, and then we sort of square it up at the end of the month, and then it flows into his bank account.
Tucker, do you have any siblings?
One
sibling. So are you like, I guess we could go back to Ryan on this one. How do you support Tucker as he does this? Do you try to balance it with other things that he does? What does your day look like?
Mine or his?
Both of your days.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because he is homeschooled at this point. Mm-hmm. So most of his learning comes from this business. I mean, the way he learned addition was to count golf balls. Mm-hmm. Like, that was how he learned to do math. School was never really very, you want to talk how school was for you?
Not great. Not really great. It was hard.
So let's talk about why it was hard, because I feel like definitely school, it doesn't teach you necessarily how to make a living. It's like a different kind of school. It has a different type of experience. Go ahead.
So school for me, I didn't learn most ways as kids learned in my class. So it was so different. In the whole school, I was the one who was all behind. so I'm the behind one. But
yeah,
but I actually I like reading different stuff and
I see.
not nonfiction, like real fiction,
yeah.
I
So
see.
you had a lot of time with school, and so now he literally runs an eBay business like full time, like as his school. He has a tutor that comes in and teaches him through his business. So they, he prepares lessons that are centric to his business that teach him skills to read and write and learn things, but through his business. So you asked what his typical day looks like. He wakes up, right?
6 o'clock.
You wake up around 6.
Wow.
You start taking pictures and doing listings, right?
Then I wake up my dad at 7:15, and he starts listing.
And then I check what he's done. And then and then after that, I'll check what he's done, and then we'll start putting together the orders for the day for shipping. And then we'll go out to the post office, drop those off.
And pretty much all day for me, I take pictures, list, and then I go on Facebook and just start looking stuff up and saying, okay, this is $100. I can pay $20. Let's go get it,
Okay,
but
awesome.
I stay local because I don't want to go too far. But I go too far when I do big bulk buys. Like when I say big bulk buys, the whole eBay store.
So yes, he actually bought an eBay store.
Amazing. So how you bought all the inventory?
Well, he bought basically the store, all the supplies, the inventory.
Okay.
We even got a CSV file dump of the entire store.
That's
we
great.
contemplated loading the whole thing up, and it's like, I don't know. We're sort of new at this, so we didn't actually, it was sort of in between buying a store and buying all the inventory. But he gave us everything, basically, the boxes,
information, about it, like pretty much everything. There was $10,000 worth of stuff there.
I think
amazing.
10-20K.
10 to 20 in profits, right?
Yeah, profits.
Wow, that's really cool. How did you approach that? How did you run into a store that was for sale?
It was very weird. I found it on Facebook. It was so weird because I'm moving. I want everything gone. Like I want all my inventory gone. I want to restart. So I'm like, this is the guy I want.
Okay, so you recognize that when people are moving, the stuff is really cheap.
It's cheaper, but he knows what it was.
I see. Okay, he knows what it's worth.
I was like, he's like, you gotta make some money too, and I get it.
You're very savvy, Tucker, because these are all little details that you're noticing and picking up on. Because like this year, I've bought several stores, because there's so many people moving. Right, this is an unusual time.
Yeah. Well, we're in a very transient area too, because we're around Washington, D.C.
Okay.
And so there's constantly people moving in and out of the area. I think like 1 out of 4 people are native to here. Like 3 out of 4 people are transplants.
Yeah.
So people are constantly moving in and out.
This is pretty remarkable because you were, quote unquote, behind in school, reading about subjects that you didn't really care about. Right. But when you put yourself in front of a subject that you're really interested in, you're excelling beyond many adults at this level of understanding when markets change, what may be a good deal. And then running into that store, this is cool because you have your dad to mentor you. And I have a mentorship that runs Monday through Friday. And I would not charge you if you want to come to that in the mornings and discuss, because I feel like this is very interesting. There will be pretty much endless entrepreneurs willing to help you. It's cool.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I would love to.
I'm excited. So, okay. So you get listed you wake up before your dad, which is awesome. So you get photographs going. He helps you list. And is there a reason why you help him list, Ryan?
Yeah, he can't, believe this or not, Chris, he can't read or write. He's so dyslexic, everything is read back to him. So we're working through, like, he can create, he clones listings basically.
And I just remember all the words in my head.
Yeah, he clones listings, and he can sort of go through some of the listing process. Like he can enter in numbers and he can do a lot of that, but the reading is still really, really, really hard for him just because he's very, very dyslexic. And so I go through the listings and make sure that everything is right. And, sort of the things that he struggles with are sort of maybe writing like item descriptions and things like that. But he does he clones the listings normally. And does the pictures. He's actually pretty good with the pictures. He might be better than me with the pictures.
And pictures is so. Forgive me, I'm ignorant. Is dyslexia treatable? Can you improve it? How does that affect? I mean, is it because you're taking photographs, and that's like a more physical thing than reading?
Yeah, it's interesting the way that it was explained to me. Is there's different levels of dyslexia.
Okay.
In terms of there's a phonological processing piece of it, and there's like reversing letters. And normally when you have somebody that reverses letters, you teach them phonics, and that's how they learn to read. And somebody that has a phonological processing issue, you teach them whole words. They don't sound anything out. They just memorize words. Well, he had both of those issues. So it's sort of, for him, reading is sort of like trying to scale a glass wall. There's nothing for him to do in terms of learning. So we've hired a number of different people in special education to help him with this. But all of them have advised us that you need to just keep teaching him through his business, because he's doing all of his test scores and everything jumped as soon as he started his business about a year ago. Wow. I mean, you couldn't even, when you were 9, could you say your ABCs? Mm-mm. Could you count past 10?
Nope. I count 100 now.
Wow. So there's so much in that to unpack, like having something that you're really interested in helped you a lot. Because I would say you're eloquent. You're very clear. I can understand your thoughts completely, and you're very observant. So this is very exciting. Okay, so we have the photographing part. Ryan, you help list the items. Then the item sells. Do you help with shipping, Tucker?
I grab all the items out, but I don't know how to do the shipping calculations because it's way too complicated, I heard.
Yeah, versus
Mom actually does a lot of the shipping, believe it or not, before she starts her job.
That's great. So the shipping, because you're used to a little bit of local pickup, do you guys cross list? Do you do Facebook Marketplace and eBay, or only eBay? How do you list your items?
We only do eBay, and the biggest reason I don't let him post on Facebook Marketplace, there's 2 reasons. One, I don't want the drama of him buying something at a yard sale for $1 and then selling it on Facebook for $100, and that person coming back to me and going, "What the heck's going on here?"
Right.
I don't need that drama in my life. So I try not to let him sell things in the same market that he buys.
Only if they're okay with it.
Yeah, if somebody's okay with it, or and not only that, but like for smaller items, I don't want to deal with trying to meet with somebody, or when it was golf balls, you just leave them out on the porch, come get what you want, leave some money or whatever. That was easy, but with other things, I don't want to sit there and try to schedule time to meet somebody for $20 or $40, whatever.
Right.
Easier just ship, right? So we don't really use Facebook Marketplace to sell anything.
Only if we had,
unless it's something really, really, really large that he picked up that we couldn't say no to or something.
So Tucker, how did this business help you speak? I mean, if you had such difficulty only a year ago, now is it because you're interested in how it works or talking to people? Is that where you learned most of it?
I pretty much learned a lot of speaking language. Pretty much I was too afraid, not really crazy, but read later.
I see.
I think it was a confidence issue.
Confidence issue. Okay.
Yeah, there was because for so long he just struggled with everything. It was, you start to go, what's wrong with me, right? And So this became a way to get him some confidence just in the beginning, because, with golf balls and with antiques, it was something that he knew a lot about, more than probably most adults do, right? And so it became a way to get him confidence.
That's great. So I feel like entrepreneurship at its purest form, they say, is taking something from a lower value and then you add energy to it and you can sell it at a higher value. And Tucker, you have a really high amount of energy. That is exciting. So that transfers very easily in the sales, because you find something, if you're excited about it, it's already worth more money, especially locally. So, and you're at that age where people definitely want to help you. So are you guys still I'm assuming it's cold now. What do you guys do to source inventory?
I really just bring pretty slow. Like every room by room in the basement is filled, so it's kind of.
So you have plenty of stuff.
We talked about this. He could do 20 listings a day for the next year, and he'll probably be able to list.
Great.
So right now, he more or less sources for fun right now. It's not because he has to, which is good, because he's shipping out about 10 things a day right now. And he's building out a store. So he's more focused on moving what he has than sourcing stuff. But occasionally he'll buy things off of Facebook.
two seams a week.
Yeah, he'll do 1 or 2 purchases off of Facebook a week.
But it's usually bigger, like pretty much 25 items for like $20 or something.
Yeah, he's looking for somebody that has a lot of stuff or a collection of things that.
Yeah, because like yesterday I bought a collection of Disney stuff for $100. And
So let me ask you a couple of questions. With friends, you had some friends help you pick golf balls. Are any of your friends or are other parents interested in Tucker holding like little workshops for people that are your age and working together?
Some people tell me to do that, but I don't got time to do it.
I love it. He's too busy.
Yeah, he's helped other kids a little bit with things, but it's kind of hit or miss. He's like, nobody's going to want to buy your painting. You have to have something that somebody wants. And it's like, don't tell that to the 8-year-old girl, okay, that's selling her coloring.
That's so. But this is so funny how our education system has failed, Tucker, to a sense, right? Because you didn't get educated that way, and then now you see other quote unquote normal kids, and they're behind. You see that there's like a certain element of selling where you understand you have to sell something people want. How did you learn that? That's a huge. Some people think anything will sell.
I know. Because one person on Facebook put a fake baseball card, a toilet paper card, and asked $100,000, and they sold with $100,000, and everybody making fun of him.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Okay,
it was really funny.
All right.
Like, I'll trade a toilet paper for it, ordering.
Yeah, it
was really
funny. Okay.
So, are you in the baseball cards too? Do you sell anything?
I can sell anything or everything. Like I can sell the car parts. Like I buy pretty much everything you can think of will sell. Like anything sellable I can make money off, I'll buy it. Like really.
So let's talk about you guys texted me asking about ideas for scaling. Do you want to list more than 20 items a day? Do you want to get a small warehouse? What do you guys want to do?
I want to list more. Like I want more employees. Like how you manage employees? Like how do you do that?
Okay, so he has. So I'll tell you. Let's back up.
Yeah.
So first of all, what's your goal? You told me the other day. What? How big do you want to get this business?
I want to get to 10 employees.
You want to get to how many employees?
10 employees.
10 employees. How many sales? Like how much?
Like 20 grand a month.
Like 20 grand a month or something. He's still doing that math, but he wants to see how big he can get it.
Because right now you're doing about $5 grand with your family, right? Is that where we're at revenue wise?
he has actually an employee, believe it or not.
Okay.
There's a girl, she's 16, she's like a neighbor, and she comes in and does that, like an hour or two after school every day. And that gives him some consistency of always having listings. So if something goes, he doesn't have time or he has an appointment or whatever, we've always got that person to give us, get him another 10 listings every day. And she's super, she works for like $10 an hour. So,
but I want employees who can do it like 4 to 8 hours a day. So.
Yeah, 4 to 8 hours a day. Yeah. So we did that just to try to understand the employee model, right, in eBay, right? Like start to try to get systems, with somebody that with somebody that you trust, right? And somebody that will, work with you a little bit. And then, so what we're trying to do now is to sort of refine those processes and replicate them on, for each employee that he would hire. But we're just that just started you just started that like in the last month or two?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got another employee just to do electronics.
Yeah, he has another person that tests all of his electronics, like all of his audio and stereo equipment. So he hired him. He's like an audio engineer. He comes in and he grades everything and he gives us a whole spreadsheet of everything, and says, this is what's working, not working. This is how I would grade it. This is how to list it. And then we just copy it and list it.
Yeah, because
So how are you two finding people that are on board? It seems like you guys are attracting people who want to help you. You have the antique booth person, you have a 16-year-old girl, you have an electronics person. Some people have difficulty finding people. Are they attracted to your energy? Why are people wanting to work with you?
Pretty much we're making relationships, really.
Okay. How are you doing that? That's amazing.
So those two people who work for me right now, we're finding neighborhoods, like our neighborhood.
Okay.
And we're like, oh, my son does this,
okay.
and he's about it, and we're like, okay, we can use this guy.
So you tell your story, right?
Yeah, tell my story.
You tell your story, and I've learned from years of being in business and whatnot that if you ask the universe and you ask people, they will help you and they will want to get on board. So if you just tell your story, I think people will gravitate towards that story.
Yeah.
And that's sort of, everything has been really serendipitous of how everything happened, because I laugh about the golf balls, because the first day when we went out and got the golf balls, I think he found like 2,000 golf balls or something like that, right? Never, ever again, right, in the course of going to yard sales or thrift stores, did we ever find in a weekend $2,000 in golf balls?
Yeah.
And I sat there and I said, if that weekend we hadn't found $2,000 in golf balls, I don't know that we would have gone out and done it again, and none of this ever happened. So the universe sort of has a way of giving you what you need, I guess. Or if you ask, sometimes you'll get what you need. That's just sort of our philosophy.
That's a great attitude. And a lot of people give up before they find that nice find that keeps them going. If you have a few home runs right when you're getting started, it gets you excited. But imagine if you only found $5 profit items the first month. That would be challenging to get you excited to continue doing it. So yeah, I think that was a huge plus, finding $2,000 worth of golf balls. That's amazing.
But I think part of it was the area.
Yeah,
that's also important to realize. Yeah,
because the area by us, we're very close by Washington D.C. one. In the Ashburn area, it's getting expensive. There's a lot of expensive areas close by us.
How do you know that? Have you driven around these neighborhoods and you can tell that the places are nicer?
You'd be surprised. I can tell by the house and car. It's
the
funny.
House and okay. So what does it look like? What does a nice neighborhood look like, house and car wise?
So half the time, as cars, people have a Lexuses or a BMW or a Land Rover, and you can tell by their house and how to take care of it. Really.
How to take care of the house, also.
Yeah, it's kind of important. because some people are not organized, but a lot of people like in the higher quality areas are more organized. Like, oh, you didn't find my kid lost something. I'll go find it for you right now. Like,
wow, that is telling. You're right. If you go to a nicer neighborhood, generally the garage sales, estate sales are more organized in general.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I get more excited because like, ooh, this is gonna be better. Let's see what the prices is. Some people are clearing out the garage and they're like, I just want my area for my car, and they have high quality stuff in their garage that they didn't realize they have. And they're like, $1 for it, you get $100. Like, you know.
Your favorite though is, I thought your favorite was barns.
Barns are my favorite.
Why are barns your favorite?
I'm pretty much breathe and sleep barns.
Why are they your favorite?
Because you get stuff dirt cheap. One time I found J.G. Herndon's Bible.
Yeah.
Signed.
Okay.
So he found a pre-Civil War Bible in a barn signed. If you know Herndon, it's a famous family. There's Herndon, Virginia. Mm-hmm. He found their family Bible that was signed back at Civil War time.
Wow.
He found it like in a barn.
For 50 cents.
For 50 cents, yeah. I think he paid something stupid like that. But maybe not even that.
It was in Berryville.
We've been trying to find the family, actually, to give it back. He actually has items that he sold to museums.
So, Tucker, is it the treasure hunting that makes you excited, or is it that there's profit to be made that makes you excited? I
like the treasure hunt and profit. Profit's my favorite.
Like both. Profit's your favorite. I like that. So, okay, I'm assuming you have a savings account. What are you doing with I'm assuming you're not paying rent. Where does this money go that you're making?
He goes in business.
He just puts everything back in his business. I mean, yes, he has a big, he doesn't really spend money on anything because everything that he buys, he
I can keep it for a little bit.
And he keeps for a little bit, and then he's like, I got the best job in the world. Why?
Because when I get bored with toys, I do a lot of toys. I buy toy boxes and stuff, but I sort them, and then I can play with them for a little bit, and I go sell them for flipping them for $100. Like,
he's like, so I got the best job. I got the best job in the world. I get to get paid to play with toys.
So, what kind of things do you like to play or enjoy? What kind of things have you found that you think are cool?
I collect some odd stuff. If you want to know odd stuff, I have the first Venom kit made, one.
Okay.
And I have the first medical kit made. I collect those. I collect old medicine.
Like quackery stuff.
That's really interesting. Okay. The thing that really inspires me about you is that you like vintage stuff. I have never heard anybody younger say they're even interested in old antique furniture or Bibles. You'd think that they would only flip toys, but you like the whole gamut of stuff. If there's profit to be made, you'll look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he even do art, right?
Yeah, I have one of the 1900s art from Italy. So they used to knock on the doors and say, "I'll make a portrait for you if you give me some food." Like, back then they did that, and I have a painting like that, really well made. And they put board on it, not like canvas. Canvas was expensive back then, and so they just did board. Barnwood. It was kind of cool.
So what he's saying is he's got a painting that was painted on barnwood in Europe in the 1800s that he found at an estate sale.
No, it's not estate sale. It was
yard sale. Okay,
Miss
yard sale. Yeah. Okay.
Her house is nice.
Yeah.
Her house is nice, one, and she takes care of her stuff.
Yeah.
She's a collector, so you always want to do collectors too. When they're moving, when they're moving, you want to do collectors because they want their stuff gone. But they always work, but they're like, I'll give you this for this price. It's better when you buy more from collectors.
So, Tucker, do you buy things new? Does it, or like in general, if you want something, you want a toy or something, do you wait to find it at a garage sale, or do you just buy it at the store knowing that in the future would be donated or be sold at a garage sale for $1?
I buy a lot of toys anymore. I buy a lot of toys in boxes and just find that toy, find it in a box and say, okay, I found it. So,
Okay.
Why don't you tell me the story about what you did with your flu shot?
oh, so for COVID, I got my flu shot, and I went to Target, and it was like and you get $5 to spend at Target, and
for all parents out there, if you need to get a flu shot, Target is the place to go. They give you $5 gift card for getting your flu shot there. So we give the kids the $5 to go spend at Target for getting the flu shot.
I go look in the clearance section.
So what's he do? You go
look in the clearance section, and I go find a wrestler, $15 to $20, and I pay nothing for it because it's $5 discount. So it was $5. So I was like, and I flipped it for $15 to $20.
I love it. So wait, how did you know to go to the clearance section? Just because that's where the deals are?
I see resellers do it, but it's harder to do. But I'm like, if you just have it for free and you don't pay nothing, it's like, why not?
I mean, that's a huge tell right there. If you can get things for free, right? That adds up. The margin's all of it. You keep all of it. So
yeah, he gets so much stuff for free. It's a little crazy.
Because my aunt and stuff, they give me a Texaco truck, and I flipped that $50-$60 for free.
Right. So you're not afraid to tell people that you sell things?
No, I'm not afraid. Because if you want to know Tucker's story, they maybe have the stuff, and you just like network, and that's the key for buying.
Wow.
He started, it was his idea, like he would give lists to people at yard sales. This is what I'm interested in. This is what I'm buying. This is,
it's kind of like the American Pickers. They go out the doors.
We're probably going to even start, I've talked to him about this, is, they have, when COVID breaks, because COVID changed a lot of things, but when COVID breaks, what he's probably going to start doing is they have like kid fairs, where you can set up as a kid to sell things. And
I'm not going to sell things. I am to say, I want to buy your old toys.
So set up a booth at one of those to buy all the kids' toys.
And video games.
And video games.
Video games, yeah.
That is, I'm just so amazed by you. I mean, you're also very resourceful. Letting people know what you do is really important because then they can help you. I think, Ryan, you hit it right on the head with saying that the universe can only help you if you let the universe know what you want. Are you, is your family, Ryan, did you come from a family of entrepreneurship as well?
Not really. My entire family's teachers.
Yeah.
But I was like the lone sort of entrepreneur, my background was actually accounting and finance. But I went through a whole bunch of startup companies, and I always, when I was little, I always had businesses. I was always sort of entrepreneurial. But I was the black sheep. Like nobody in my family, everybody was school teachers. I was like the black sheep. They're like, oh wait, you want to make money? Wait, nobody in our family makes money. We're school teachers.
Yeah, that is very interesting. I would say 80% of my friends are teachers.
Yeah,
everyone I know teaches, and it's a struggle. It's very underpaid.
Yeah,
for what they do.
My brother and father are PE teachers, and my sister-in-law are PE teachers. And we had a saying in our family. My mom was a third grade teacher. We had a saying in my family. What my dad used to say. He goes, "Those that can't do teach. Those that can't teach gym."
And you're so opposite.
Yeah.
Tucker, do you play any sports? Do you do anything active outside of selling?
I do a little bit. I play with my friends and go on my bike, on my BMX bike, and do some tricks on it, and have some fun. I do some fun stuff, like my friends do some tricks and some other fun stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, you like to fish too, right?
Yeah, my friends fish with me and stuff like that.
Okay. So, Tucker, I got a interesting question for you. So, what bugs you in your resale business? Does anything bother you? Is there anything you don't like, or anything you wish could go faster?
I don't like people with eBay they're not paying.
So
I go to eBay.
Okay.
I'm not paying.
I mean, what I generally, it depends on what type of item, but I like to, when somebody offers me $20 for a $25 item, I might say, thank you for your offer. I'll accept it. And I'll lower the price now to $20, and just keep the immediate payment on, because then I don't have to wait for them to pay. And it gives them that urgency because somebody else could buy it now. And because waiting for payments is a drag. It sucks. I'm glad that bugs you. That's awesome.
It bugs me always because we take the offer and they don't pay for an hour and then they pay. I'm like, I'm gonna ship it. I need to ship it right now because they ship.
That I can't believe. It's so cool. So how did you guys reach out to me? You just watched me on YouTube and then you messaged me?
I told you on YouTube at first.
So yeah, and he said, Dad, you gotta check out this guy. He's really smart and he knows what he's talking about. And so I started watching with you, and we started.
Anytime I was working, I put my video on and say, okay, I'm watching this too.
And I like this. You said that the comments are disabled because you have is it a kid account?
Yeah, for YouTube, right? So his content's blocked because of comments on YouTube. So he can't comment on any of your videos or anything. Yeah. He watches YouTube all day long, all the resellers and all that sort of stuff. But he can't comment really at all because it's blocked because we have to, because it'll open up other content we don't want him to get to.
Back on your phone, go comment on you.
Yeah, well, you can use my phone.
I thumbs up and say you're good.
But so let's plug your Facebook group. Does your Facebook group just talk about you, or does it have stuff for sale?
Anytime people message me and say, I find stuff, and people message me and say, do you want this? So I'm like, okay, if you want it, I'll do half price because I don't need to pay any fees on eBay, so it's kind of easier.
He doesn't really sell anything on his Facebook page. It's more, we started his Facebook page just more to let him, tell people what he was doing and, start using his words more and things like that. So that, he just sort of goes through what he does. Finding what he's selling, that sort of thing. But he wants a YouTube channel, but I don't know that I can do that work. Yeah, that was the top of his Christmas list this year, right? Was a GoPro, and I said, "Oh, geez."
I think I think you would have to monitor that for sure, because it's. I'd probably, if you were going to do a YouTube channel, I would have it not have any comments. I would have your dad help you, and because it's distracting. I think right now you're so focused because you're not on social media. I assume you tell me. Yeah, it's a when I'm looking to hire people, I love it when they have no social media. That means they're not distracted. They're not going to be checking their phone when they're working because no one's talking to them.
I don't watch social media often, but I go once in a while.
Yep.
Yeah, I he's not really talking to a whole lot of people on social media.
I'm busy people. I need to go do work.
But but to answer your question, his Facebook handle is what is it? It's
I'll put it in the link in the description.
The Kid Picker. It's the Kid Picker.
Okay.
Facebook. I don't know how he got that the Kid Picker.
That's pretty solid. That's a good one.
URL, right? He tried, his business is Tucker's Treasures, but somebody already had Tucker's Treasures, so somehow he got the Kid Picker.
You should try to get all those handles. That's a fantastic name.
I know. I couldn't believe it was available. I was kind of shocked when we set it up.
You guys, you got the URL and everything?
Tucker.
You should get it.
Sure. Found it.
Yeah. So.
Okay, I'll add that to the description.
Yeah, I can send you a link to. I think you have it.
I think I have it.
Yeah.
So I love it. This is okay. Let's talk about. So it bugs you when people don't pay. Do you have any interest, Tucker, in having a store, like a physical store that people can go into and shop?
I actually have.
He actually has probably like a 10 by 20 space in a store that he manages.
Yeah.
So yeah, he has that too. So most of that is the stuff that he can't sell on eBay. So it's furniture, it's just things that it's too much to ship basically.
Okay.
Or that you can't sell on eBay.
So I guess one other thought I was thinking is, like, what else do you want, Tucker? You're quickly, I mean, it sounds like you're super excited about reselling. Is there anything else that you want to explore or learn?
I want to see the Amazon platform a little bit.
Okay. That's awesome. I love it. I love that you're so interested in e-commerce, and this is like the beginning of e-commerce is still pretty new. I would, let's try to find you someone that can mentor you on Amazon, because that's very different. If eBay taught you the basics of speech and learning and negotiating, Amazon is it's way more white collar. Like it's more company organization, dealing with wholesalers. It's very different. eBay is definitely more like picking. So
yeah, eBay is funner, but Amazon you get money, but the fees are harder. And when you first start, you got to accept stuff. I did some research on it. It's confusing.
What got you interested in Amazon?
I'm more interested to sell like video games and stuff, because they sell more on Amazon and books. Like they sell more on Amazon.
What was your Halloween costume this year?
Jeff Bezos.
Jeff Bezos, that's brilliant.
Was like,
maybe I'll put that in the thumbnail for you.
That is so brilliant. That's
but everybody's like, who you are? I'm like, Jeff Bezos. And they're like, you're Jeff Bezos.
It's so funny that what got you interested in Amazon is that the items sell for more money on that platform. That is true, but it's funny that would just bring you there. So you're truly trying to find the highest dollar amount you can sell your item for.
Yeah, but the problem with Amazon is the fees. I don't like the fees.
It is different.
I heard about some Amazon resellers is they have warehouse you can keep your stuff in, but
Yeah, that's right. How do you decide what YouTube to watch as a 10-year-old?
I pick out some of them, but I like some of them just for fun. But some of them I actually want to learn, and you are the one, pretty much is the one who can tell you what to do next platform business. Like
I got you. Awesome.
Yeah, I think he enjoys like watching the people go to garage sales, but at the same time, he's like, that's not real. Like I'm beyond that at this point.
And the funny part is, a lot of them they sell more than me, but they don't have that much items in me.
Yeah, how many items do you have right now?
I'm gonna look right now.
You don't know off the top of your head? I'm very disappointed.
711.
711.
So you're saying that some of the YouTubers that you watch have less items than you?
Oh yeah, they have 5.
That is really funny to me that you like noticed that. You picked up on that.
My sister has, I think, 550 right now.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
Yeah.
But
they probably have a higher sell-through rate.
Yeah, he does, but he's not selling that much big ticket items. Like he's not selling $100 items off the top of my head, because he's not selling an ornament. I sold an ornament for $350 broken. Cousin Eddie's trailer broken.
Wow. Well, my brain is full. I probably need to digest this and maybe do another interview with you because you had mentioned that you're spending a lot of time right now looking up solds. That's a form of reading to a degree.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm starting to get there. I'm starting to memorize like this is worth $100. I can just list it, and it's easier for me just to copy the listing I have and just list another one of it.
So Tucker, do you think that are you using the app or are you using the desktop?
I use the app.
Okay.
Yeah, he uses the app. Yeah.
Because I have the app on my phone, and anytime I go for shops and stuff, I pull out stuff and then I'm like, I go in the corner of the store and say, okay, let's count the pieces or do this, you know.
And is that helping you learn like different words or different phrases by reading the descriptions and titles? Versus,
yeah, I'm starting to memorize that kind of stuff too.
What about the stuff that is not reselling? Do you have difficulty reading that still?
Stuff not reselling?
Yeah, like if you're reading just a regular book on, about bike racing or something, or fishing.
He can't do it.
Is it because it's not as interesting to you?
No, I think he can't decode the words.
Wow.
Like, because he sees the word free or vintage or whatever, like he sees those words enough that he knows enough about.
Oh, I see.
But as far as like if you gave him text to read without any context, he could maybe only pick out the words that he sees on eBay. But that's all he could read.
Okay, so this is truly pattern recognition.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you're able to see, okay, this is vintage, this is underpriced, this is whatever, and you're starting to learn all these words and memorizing those.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He sees free or
toys. I know toys,
right?
Like moving.
Yeah, like
moving,
so that's actually like how he's
or inventory,
like how he's building his.
But the funny
words
part
that he can read.
The funny part is most kids can't read. They can do duh and like those kind of words, but I don't learn that way because those words I don't use often.
So he just memorizes the words that he has to learn, and that's
So this reminds me of something. Like I would say in 2 generations ago, if you go to a lot of countries, people can't read or write, but they have no problem speaking. They just learn the words that they use every day. If you were a reseller, there's only a certain vocabulary that you would need to learn for your particular niche. You don't have to know everything. You're essentially an expert already. You're like adult level functioning reselling as your occupation already. You understand how to source items. And I think with time, you will be able to list because the title is just item specifics. So you'll be able to memorize those over time. If you only sold in one category, you would probably already know how to list because the item specifics are literally in a drop-down menu.
Yep.
Yeah, we're building up to that. So what we'll probably do is we'll go one thing at a time. So like just the item specifics or just the shipping piece. So that's sort of like probably like for his next step. But I think he's to the point now where he's like, let's just hire people to do this for me.
That's would you say, Tucker, your strength is identifying good deals, or what do you think you're the strongest in?
My strongest, I'm really good at sourcing and telling quality.
Okay.
Quality control is really actually my detail because I can tell by quality what's fake and what's real. And most people like out looking it up on Google for me.
So I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I do want to mention that you're 10 years old and you just had an adult conversation for an hour. So when you talk to a lot of 10-year-olds, you can't talk to them for more than a couple minutes. They're bouncing off the walls. I think a lot of that is media. You're not poisoned by that. You're so focused on just doing what you want to do and what you like.
I'll be honest with you, a lot of kids are into video games. I'm like, I'm not a video game person.
Well, you sell a lot of video games.
I sell a lot of video games, but I'm not like the only video game stuff I will play is Nintendo and GameCube. Like it's the stuff.
Well, why? Why are you not as lured in by that?
I never really into PS5 or that kind of stuff right now.
Okay.
Why?
Because it's just too new technology. When the history of video games actually happened, it's cooler and actually fun. You live it. Right now it's like PS5 and Xbox One and that stuff. I'm like, I don't like that stuff. playing Call of Duty. It's like, I don't really like that. I like playing Mario Kart. Those real games and people are inspired by that and people are collecting it. It's cool, you know?
That is cool. Yeah, I can see that because the new games are all reality based. The graphics are it's like virtual reality. It's not like a game.
But it's like you're living it and you're playing
right.
the game. It's like it's not like right now you're like playing M games or you're playing a different game. Like it's just like you're gonna play a baby game or you're gonna play adult game. It's like what game you're gonna play. And what like in the video game world, Nintendo 64, all those games, they're funner and they're actually more challenged, but not challenging, they're easier and funner. Like and it helps you.
They're more playable, right?
More playable.
You can just plug and play.
Yeah, plug and play.
Tucker, what do you want for Christmas?
A GoPro and a light box for
a GoPro and a light box. Wow, I love it.
Well, because he has a whole like photo setup in the basement, but you know, like he has his employee down there, so when she's working, he can't, you know, like work down there. So he's like, I want a photo box for my room, so I could just shoot the small items in there. So that was one of the. He wants that and a GoPro. That's all you really asked for.
Yeah, and then I just want a few things from the collection, but nothing really crazy.
So the new GoPro 9 has a front-facing camera, which is nice because you could actually do vlog style, which didn't happen with the previous 8 versions of GoPro. So that's cool. And I think that you should definitely share your journey about like sort of being left behind by the education system, like being told that, you know, there are certain subjects that are just not interesting to kids. So I feel like if you can find something that you're really interested in, you're at such an advantage. Look how fast you have learned reselling because you like it.
I think I can make some videos on my YouTube channel for kids, for toys, like learning how to make money off toys. Kids would be interested in it.
Absolutely.
Because I would say I think the content would be good because you know why? Because they get over the toy in a day and they're like, I don't want a toy anymore. You can go buy art sales for $1 and you can go make money and actually play for one day and then you can go sell it.
It's worth it to play for one day if you get it like that in that case, instead of paying full retail for it and then playing for it for one day.
Yeah, and then adults are like, why you're not playing for toy? And I'm like, I'm bored now. I don't like the toy. You know?
That is exactly right. If you ask parents who are selling toys why they are selling toys, what's the reason?
Because they get over it so quick.
That's right. That's exactly right. If you look at all the Facebook ads, they're all saying my kid doesn't like it anymore. Yeah,
because so like my problem, my sister is like she used to LL doll brand new. She paid $100 for it,
right?
And then she gets over it in one day, and then mom and dad are like, why pay all this money for a doll and you never played it in a year? Then you play it again.
Do you remember the Hatchimal toy?
Yeah.
It was like people tried to get that toy for like a week, and it was like 5 minutes of playing with it.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny you mentioned his sister. So his sister's 8, right? And it's funny how kids are so different because when he kicked her out of his golf ball business because she wasn't pulling her weight, he's like, you're just floating around. I'm not giving you any money anymore. Like you're not. Because
she's scared of snakes.
Yeah. So
you
fired your sister.
So he fired his sister, right, from the golf ball business, right? And so then she got upset and said, Dad, I want my own business. And so she's 8. So this time I think she was like 6. And so I said, well, we have a big garden out back. I said, well, I can teach you how to make pickles. So I taught her how to make pickles. She had a pickle business, right? And she did it, and she made a couple $100 like selling pickles, right? Like just on like, you know,
she said, I give up for it, and I'm like, I will do it if you want to do it. And she's like, no, I'm keeping it.
So she quickly got tired of it, and she would spend every dollar that she had. Like she'd spend it before she even got it, right? Like she would just and like with Tucker invested, like took every dollar he had and just kept buying more things to help him, whether it was like a kayak or a golf ball grabber or a tent for shows or a printer or whatever, business cards. He just kept buying and buying more stuff. She was just like, I'm spending all my money like before she even had it. And and eventually she just got like tired of it and was like, oh, I don't really want to do this. And Tucker's like, well, I'll do it if you don't want to do it. And so then she did it just so that he couldn't have another business.
That's funny. Do you get along with your sister, Tucker?
It's okay. It's not crazy.
That's. What do you like to eat?
I like eating seafood.
Seafood.
He's quite the foodie. Like, give him some weird stuff to eat. Give him some weird stuff to eat.
I one time tried crickets.
You tried crickets. You're like the opposite of most kids. You're adventurous in food.
If you don't want to try cricket, I got a quarter for it. So I'm like, ooh, 2 quarters for a cricket. People dare me to eat it, and I eat it and get some money. So it's kind of that I used to do. That's where I used to make my money sometimes.
Well, I want to let you go back to work because I know you're a busy kid. So let's talk about one thing that you would tell people who are just learning how to resell. Because if someone just started, what would you say to them?
I would pretty much say, do what you like.
Okay.
And do where the profit side you think you can make your money.
Okay.
And just keep going and not give up. That's the key. And you network and say, I'm starting a business by inspiring some person,
That is a great place to stop. You're right. Just keep going. Stay consistent. Don't give up. Because in the beginning, you got to keep going till you find your $2,000 golf ball day.
Yeah.
Then you'll be hooked.
First day golf balls, I made $200 and like $5, something like that, some cheap. But the next day, I've got like 100 golf balls, like 2,500 golf balls, and made $2,000. So it's like that.
I love it.
What did you do this month? How much have you done this month? Not golf balls, just in eBay. What did you do this month?
4 or 5.
Well, I think you did almost 6 this month.
Almost 6 this month.
It's not even over.
Yeah, no. Well, I think last 30 days.
Last 30 days.
It was like 57. What were you? 57.
Yeah.
57. Yeah.
Ryan, any final thoughts for the parents out there trying to mentor their kids in their budding business?
Yeah, I don't know. I wish I had some, some.
You've done a fantastic job. What are you doing? What's the secret sauce?
Listen, I just let him go and do his thing. At first. Now it's getting kind of a little trickier because he's getting into waters that, are like, how do we hire employees? I think it's just in the beginning, it was just supporting him. Right. So I would say if, your kid's looking to get into this or whatever, just support them. Right. Like, I would tell people when we go to yard sales, I said, some kids play baseball, some kids play the piano, some kids play video games. Right. This is what he plays. This is what he does. And I just support that. It's it was no different. Like, I remember, oh my God, we went to like antique shows and things like that. And you're just killing yourself to pack up all this stuff and, unpack it. I'm like, oh. He's thrilled because he's making $1,000, but I'm going, oh God, this is really hard work to make $1,000. Right? And I sat there, I was like, well, we could be spending the entire weekend at, tournament baseball games and paying $10,000, for him to play baseball somewhere, right? A lot of parents do that, right? Yeah. Or, whatever. And it was like, so the way that I always looked at it with his reselling business is it's just like him playing baseball. Would you go coach your kid's baseball team? Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Right. Mm-hmm. So that's sort of how I view it, is that I'm coaching a reselling business rather than a baseball team.
That's true. That's true.
And so that's how I've viewed my role for him, is just that, I'm, like he's the player and I'm the coach, right? And, no different than if he were playing baseball or he was taking piano lessons or whatever.
Business is a sport. It is 100% a sport. You can learn everything through it.
Sometimes I think it's real life. It's life.
It's life.
It's real life. It's not like playing a video game, and it's not. This is real life business.
I'm so impressed by you because it's true. The video games are not real.
Yeah, it's just a game. And most
it's just a game.
I can't wait. I really want this new Call of Duty or something like that. Because some of my friends they just like video games and they play video games all day. But then when they get when they get all the way out there, while I'm playing video games, this is what you should actually do. I'm like, yeah.
I love it. So I guess last thought. Let's say somebody that wants to reach out to you. How would they reach Tucker, Ryan? Are you monitoring emails? Where can people reach out?
Yeah, I have. He has an email account. It is thatkidtucker48 @gmail. He has a Facebook page. It's the Kid Picker. Mm-hmm. And he has an eBay store that is Tucker's Vintage Treasures. All of those places. I can supply you links to those if you don't have those, Chris. That's where he can be reached. Okay. Now, until he starts his YouTube channel, but I don't think that's happening anytime soon, as I told him.
Probably 2 months.
No.
2 years.
You worked me to death already. I don't need to be worked to death on a YouTube channel. Ask Chris how much hard work it is.
How much hard work it is?
It's hard work, but you can do it, and I'll give you guys I'll make it so that your dad's not spending so much time on it, because it is, the best part of it is you are making so much progress. I don't want you to forget. You're doing so many amazing things that if you could document it a little bit, then you can go back and look and say, you're that Kid Picker, a year from now, you're going to be a totally different kid. And if you can keep track of it, that would be amazing.
And that's kind of what he's done on his Facebook page.
Yeah.
That's sort of what his Facebook page is.
I love it. All right, guys. Thank you so much for your time. It was great to meet you both, and I'll see you guys next time.
What do you say?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks. I appreciate it. And hey, we'll check in the mastermind group. Come, or is there a link?
You guys just come. It's the same link Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. your time, and you guys can just hop in.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. I know you're a busy dude.
Thanks, guys.